Hello English learners. Welcome back to the Easy English Hub, your cozy place to learn easy English through real conversations.
We're really happy you're here.
Quick check-in. How are you today?
I'm good. Today I saw something small that made me feel calm.
Oh, what happened?
I was waiting in a line and someone let another person go first. No big show, just a quiet kindness. It reminded me small things matter.
Quiet kindness. I love that. It's simple, but it stays with you.
Yeah. How about you?
I'm okay. I caught myself rushing. Then I stopped and I sat for 1 minute with my warm drink. Just 1 minute, and it felt like coming back to myself.
Coming back to yourself. Yeah, that's a good feeling.
And maybe you listening right now, you also need that. A small return to yourself.
So today's topic is perfect for this moment.
Yeah. Today we're talking about how to love yourself more than anyone else. Not in a selfish way, in a healthy way. Like respecting yourself, taking care of yourself, not abandoning yourself.
Also, just so you know, this is a B1 level episode.
So if you're intermediate, it's perfect. And if you're a strong beginner, you can still follow.
Yes, just take what you understand, repeat the useful lines, and let the rest wash over you, like background music. That's still learning.
Still learning, yes. And to help you today, we'll share a few simple self-love habits you can use in real life, like what to say to yourself on a bad day, how to set boundaries, and how to stop being so hard on yourself, step by step.
And we'll use real-life situations like work, family, friendships, messages, and daily moments, so it feels practical, not theory.
And quick reminder, if you enjoy our episodes, please like and subscribe. It really helps the Easy English Hub grow.
And leave a comment after you listen. What is one small way you want to be kinder to yourself this week?
Even one sentence is perfect.
And because this is the Easy English Hub, at the end, we'll do a short, calm word tour.
That means we'll slow down, collect the key words and phrases from today, and explain them with simple examples so they stay in your English.
Okay, before we begin, take one slow breath in and out.
No pressure. You don't have to become perfect today. Just be here with us.
All right, let's start with the first idea.
And please don't rush yourself while you listen. Just stay with us.
Yeah, let the ideas land slowly.
No rush. And the first thing we want to share is simple, but it changes a lot.
Okay, I'm listening.
Here's a simple truth. The way you treat yourself becomes your standard.
Yeah, it's like the invisible rules you live by. You don't announce them, but people feel them.
Yes, totally. It's almost like an inner price tag. Not money, but value.
Oh, I like that. Because when you value yourself clearly, other people usually follow your lead.
Right. But when you don't, you start teaching people something without meaning to.
Like when you keep saying yes, even when you want to say no.
Yes, people learn, oh, Evelyn is always available.
And at first it sounds like a compliment, doesn't it? Helpful, kind, reliable.
Yeah, but then it turns into a habit.
And habits turn into roles. Suddenly, you're the yes person, even when you're exhausted, right?
And one day you're tired, overwhelmed, and you think, how did I get here?
Yeah, I've been there too. Can I share a small story?
Please, go ahead.
A few years ago, a friend used to message me late at night. Not every day, but often. And I would reply even when I was half asleep. And I kept telling myself, it's fine, I'm just being nice.
But slowly it started to wear you out.
Exactly. And then one night, I didn't reply for 1 hour, just 1 hour. And the next day, my friend said, where were you? In a serious tone, like I had done something wrong.
That moment, because you realize the expectation is already there.
Yeah, I trained people to expect instant access to me. I didn't plan it, but I taught it.
So the lesson isn't stop being kind. The lesson is kindness needs a limit. Kindness needs a line.
Yes, that's the word. Boundaries.
In English, boundaries means your personal limits, what is okay and what is not okay.
And boundaries aren't walls. They're more like doors.
Yeah, doors. You can still be warm, but you're also in control.
You decide who comes in, how long they stay, and what behavior is allowed inside.
And you decide when to close the door so you can rest.
And here's the interesting part. When you set a boundary, some people suddenly get uncomfortable.
Yeah, especially the people who benefited when you had no boundaries.
And it doesn't mean they're evil. It just means they're not used to your new standard.
100%.
And when you raise your standard, something inside you has to change first.
Yeah, because boundaries aren't only about other people. They're also about what you believe you deserve.
Right. And that brings us to something deeper.
Your worth is not up for discussion.
Let's talk about self-worth.
Self-worth means you believe you have value as a human being, even on your bad days.
Not only on your good English days or your super productive days.
Exactly. Not only on the days when you look perfect and do everything right.
A lot of people connect their worth to money, looks, or approval.
That word, validation.
Validation. Yeah, validation means other people confirming you are good enough.
And validation feels nice, of course, but if you need it all the time, you become fragile.
Because if someone doesn't like you, you crash. If someone criticizes you, you feel small.
I remember once I posted something online, a small thing, and one person wrote a rude comment and my mood changed instantly, like they had a remote control for my feelings.
Oh, wow. That's such a clear image. One click and your whole day shifts.
Yeah, and then I realized, wait, why does one stranger have this power?
Because you were borrowing your worth from outside.
Right. So here's a sentence you can keep. My worth is not up for discussion.
And here's another one. I am enough, even while I'm improving.
Wow, that line feels like a deep breath.
And when you start believing that, you stop living for the audience.
Stop living for the audience. Yeah, that feels light.
And then you can finally meet yourself.
Yes, and meeting yourself is where self-love really starts. Not with big words, but with honest noticing.
Like you stop performing and you start paying attention.
And this is where it gets really personal.
Yeah, knowing yourself comes first. Self-awareness first.
Okay, Ken, question. How do you love yourself if you don't even know yourself?
Exactly, you can't.
This is where self-awareness matters. It means you notice your feelings, your triggers, your needs.
And I like the word trigger because it's like a button.
Something happens and boom, you react.
A button, I like that. Like someone says one sentence and suddenly you feel angry or sad or insecure.
Yeah, so a simple exercise. Ask yourself, what drains me? What gives me energy?
Drain means it takes your energy away slowly, like a phone battery going down.
Yeah, for example, doom scrolling drains me.
Same. Also, some people drain me.
Yup, some conversations feel like a battery thief.
A battery thief. It's funny, but it's true.
And self-awareness is noticing that without judging yourself.
Exactly. You don't say, I'm weak. You say, oh, this drains me. I need to protect my energy.
So try small, quiet moments. Journaling, walking, even just sitting without your phone.
It's like cleaning a window. When the window is clean, you can see clearly. When it's dirty, everything looks cloudy.
Yeah, when your head feels cloudy, your decisions get messy too.
So we're not trying to be perfect. We're trying to see ourselves clearly.
And once you start seeing yourself clearly, you notice another habit, a very common one.
The sorry habit.
Yeah, and it's so common that people don't even notice they're doing it.
I agree. It becomes automatic, like a reflex.
Like you're making yourself smaller before anyone even asks you to.
So stop apologizing for existing.
Because it sounds small, but it changes a lot.
And you see it everywhere. People saying sorry for normal things.
Sorry I'm talking, sorry I'm asking, sorry I'm tired.
Of course, apologize when you make a real mistake, but don't apologize for being human.
Because when you apologize too much, you send a message. I don't deserve space.
And you do deserve space.
Yeah, and this reminds me of a coworker I had once. Really kind, but every message started with sorry, even when they were helping me.
And I remember thinking, you don't need to shrink.
You don't need to shrink. Yeah, that's the feeling.
Because sorry can become a way to ask permission to exist.
And the right people won't ask you to disappear.
And when you stop shrinking, something else shows up.
The inner critic.
Yeah, it's like the moment you finally stand up a little straighter, that voice goes, wait, who do you think you are?
Exactly. And that's why we need to talk about negative self-talk.
Yes, fixing negative self-talk.
Let's go inside the mind.
Yeah, inside the head.
The inner critic is that voice that says, you're not good enough. You always fail.
And the scary part is, we start believing it.
Like it's a fact, not just a thought.
And once you believe it, you start acting smaller again.
So here's a simple trick. Talk to yourself like you talk to a friend.
Because you would never say to your friend, you're useless.
But we say it to ourselves so quickly, like it's normal.
It's like living with a bully, but the bully is in your own mind.
A bully, yeah.
And that's the hard part. You can't walk away from it because it's inside.
So we have to change the voice.
When you catch a negative thought, don't fight it aggressively. Just question it.
Like, is this a fact or is this fear?
That one question saves people.
Because fear is like fog. It makes everything look bigger and scarier.
And facts are like flashlights. They show what is real.
So when you make a mistake, don't use it as proof you're bad. Use it as information.
Yeah, like feedback. Like, okay, noted. Next time, I do it differently.
Mistakes are stepping stones. They're not your identity.
And once your inner voice becomes kinder, boundaries become easier.
Yes, because now you're not setting boundaries with anger.
You're setting them with self-respect.
And self-respect changes the feeling of no.
It stops being a fight and becomes a choice.
And this is where many good people struggle.
Not because they don't know what to do.
But because they feel guilty when they finally do it.
Yes, boundaries without guilt.
Many listeners are people pleasers.
People-pleasing means you try to keep everyone happy, even if you suffer.
And you feel guilty when you say no.
That guilt can feel so loud.
Yeah, guilt has a big mouth.
You're bad. You're selfish.
But saying no is not cruel.
Sometimes it's caring.
Here are simple no sentences you can borrow.
I can't today, but thank you for asking.
I'm not available this week.
I need to rest tonight.
Notice, short, clear, kind. No long explanation.
Because over-explaining is a trap.
Totally a sticky trap.
It turns into a 5-page essay called, Please Still Like Me?
True.
And when you start saying no, something surprising happens.
You get space.
And in that space, you can finally feel joy again.
Because joy needs room.
When your life is too crowded, even good things can't breathe.
When you're always running, pleasing, explaining, you miss small good moments.
And once you have space, you remember something important.
Happiness is not a luxury.
Some people treat happiness like dessert. Maybe later.
But happiness is part of health.
And you don't need a perfect life to feel small joy.
Small joy counts.
Like slow coffee, a short walk, a clean room, a good song.
A message from a friend, sunlight on your face, a laugh.
Those little moments matter.
Don't let society define happiness for you.
Because one person's dream can be another person's nightmare.
So ask yourself, what makes me feel alive?
And sometimes the biggest reason we delay happiness is perfection.
Perfection.
You tell yourself, when I fix everything, then I'll rest.
But that then never comes.
Because perfection is a moving target.
Social media makes it worse.
That's the comparison trap.
Comparing your real life to someone's highlight reel.
Measure your life with your values.
And when you live by your values, you protect your energy.
Because your energy is not unlimited.
Even good people burn out.
You're not lazy, you're tired.
Protect your energy.
Your environment matters.
Some relationships feel warm. Some feel unsafe.
Your body notices first.
If someone makes you feel small, that's a sign.
Sometimes you outgrow people.
You don't need drama.
Sometimes you choose peace.
Peace is also a choice.
And when you choose peace, you become stronger.
You bounce back.
Bounce back means you recover after something hard.
It doesn't mean nothing hurts.
It means you come back
People who love themselves bounce back faster.
because they don't punish themselves with shame.
They look for small wins,
Small wins build quiet confidence,
like tiny breaks building strength.
and those bricks help on bad days.
And we need one final ingredient.
Forgiveness.
Forgive yourself.
Put down the shame.
You deserve a fresh start.
If you're emotional right now, breathe.
It's time for our calm word tour.
We slow down and explain key words.
If you remember one thing, remember this.
The way you treat yourself teaches people how to treat you.
Choose one small upgrade this week.
One boundary, one kinder sentence, one no.
We're proud of you for staying with us.
This is Everlyn,
And this is Ken.
and you've been listening to the Easy English Hub. Bye.